Hi, welcome to this video. So I wanted to do one about what's happening in the Middle East. Somebody asked me yesterday if I'd consulted my cards, and so I thought I would. So the first card that we have is the Knight of Raphael. Now this is an emotional card, and this card is about things happening quickly, and obviously it has escalated, excuse me, very quickly, and you could say, and very swiftly, and you could say it's from an emotional response rather than a practical response. Not to say that this hasn't been planned, but just because something's been planned doesn't say whether it's come from a more thinking way or a more emotional response. Now, if it was a Knight of Michael, then I would say that it's been rational and it's thinking about a situation. With the second card, which is the Seven of Gabrielle, this card is standing up for yourself. So you could say, I mean, what some of the initial responses were that we're doing it to stand up for the Iranian people so they can stand up and have a democracy, so they can have personal agency, etc. But then you can also view it from the other side that Iran are basically standing up for themselves. They're confident, they're standing up for their personal power and having their own autonomy to run the country the way that they see fit, which they everyone has that right to do that, and it shouldn't be imposed on a country. Not to say that the regime is right, but it's who is America and Israel to impose it. And there's obviously been lots of different reasons why they've gone ahead with it, so that makes sense. And then the third card is peace, which I think says it all, that really we are wanting peace, that peace should be called. And also, this card is about releasing the past and not getting stuck in the past. So you could argue that this is being stimulated from past relationships, past negotiations, past situations, when really we should be releasing all of that and think, because all we can do is live in what's happening now and think and feel what is happening now rather than what's happened in the past, because that's already happened and we can't change that. Also, it's about releasing negative attachments as well, and I don't think you can get any more negative than a war. But I do think the premise of this message is peace, is what really we should be calling for. Um, who is going to instigate that, and if that's going to happen, I don't know. But things have moved very quickly and very swiftly. Then we have the sixth of Raphael, sorry, which again is another emotional card, and this card is about thinking about the past. So you could say it's kind of, but it's thinking fondly. So you could say it's attached to peace, because is this coming from an emotional instigation of something that's happened in the past? It can also be, it's also about childhood memories. So you could argue that it almost seems quite childish and chaotic what is coming out of America, because the way that they flipped the narrative about the reasons for this, but also I think it's trying to adopt more of a nurturing point of view as well. And interestingly, Israel, I'll move on when I discuss this in the next card. Israel is ruled by Taurus, because every plant has a sun sign, and America is Cancer. So obviously, Cancer is a water sign, and the Knight of Raphael and the Sixth of Raphael are both water cards, emotion cards, deep emotion cards. So you could say that maybe they're viewing this from more of emotional standpoint rather than a more practical, rational standpoint. And then the final card, we've got the Queen of Ariel. So this, obviously the court cards, which are the people cards, can be people or situations. So because Israel's ruled by Taurus, which is an earth sign, you could say that this, really, to kind of resolve this situation, it needs to be a base in a more pragmatic, rational, down to earth standpoint rather than from an emotional standpoint. I don't know whether a woman is going to be involved in any way. I don't know whether I don't think the UN can really get involved. I don't know, but I think it's calling for someone to be more nurturing about this and thinking from a more rational, pragmatic point of view. But also this card, as well. I'm just wondering if this is anything to do with Mother Earth, because obviously what's happening right now as well, all the bombs, all the devastation and what can happen afterwards with all the buildings that are being destroyed and the after effects of what the dust and the pollution and also from the oil fields as well, which comes from the earth. It's not going to serve the earth and the environment in any shape or form, because also the aerial cards, it's not just about the practical and the day to day, it's also about the earth and about the everyday, and it's also about being grounded as well. And maybe what is needed here is a more grounded, rational approach. I don't know what the sun sign is for Iran, so if anybody knows, if you could comment, because that would be interesting. I might have a look afterwards. But also as well, they seem to be a lot more pragmatic about things, whereas America seems to be going from a very emotional point of view as well. It doesn't seem based in any practicalities. It just all seems completely ludicrous. So I've never done a reading like this before, asking these kind of questions about a very about this kind of situation. But thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and yeah, I've enjoyed doing these cards. So thank you.